We will go down with everyone just saying, how did you guys each get started in the animation industry?
I just like shoot little music videos, put them up on like Facebook here and there, and a photographer reached out to me and asked me to do their wedding, and I'm like, I don't really have much experience doing weddings, let alone like anything that's like backyard music videos for my brother. But they went, you know, the blessing, they leaped on faith, and they were just like, all right, just, you know, do the wedding video. So I did. I did the wedding video, and this literally, like that was like, that just took off. The production company took off. Like after that wedding, and just editing it together. My main strong suit is editing, not so much like my video work. And my camera work actually was really bad. I think that's how I became such a good editor, because I had to work that much harder with the crappy shots that I shot. And so it was, yeah. It was some hard, like those shots are really bad. I would get headaches watching them, but yeah, and so from there I just started doing tons and tons of music videos, commercials, bar mitzvahs, and it was just really dope. And that passion that I've always had, just like for media, it just really exploded. And I would sit for hours on end just editing, and I would challenge myself to learn different programs. I would just like pull up a YouTube video, and then I would just edit a whole music video in a different editing platform, and just really challenge myself to just be a really strong editor. And it was interesting because I was good at like many different things in media, but I was, you know, I would hear a lot of times from like my family, from the clients I work with, that like, you're a really good editor. And so I'm like, okay, like I think this is my niche. Like I found something that's really like what I really want to do.
I got locked up. I got 5 years in California Department of Corrections. So I went to San Quentin, and then from San Quentin went to Tracy State Prison. And in there, they had an actual drafting program. And so I went into the drafting program, was having a good time, whatever, and I saw this little office off to the side. And I asked the instructor, what is that? He said, that's a computer room. I said, well, what are they doing there? I come from a small town where we barely had any computers and things like that. So I said, so what are they doing there? And he said, they do CG. And I asked, what's that? And he took me into the room, and they had 3D Studio Max and Softimage and AutoCAD. And I'm like, what is this stuff? And he said, yeah. Yeah, Tracy State Prison. Yeah. So in between getting strip searched, and you know, and going out to the yard and hitting the iron, you know what I'm saying, and boxing and all that, I'm doing, you know, I'm studying drafting, and now I'm doing Softimage and 3D. It was weird. It was a strange thing.
Upcoming movie Spies in the Skies at Blue Sky. So with respect to that, do you think there are anything, since we're at like a Blerd conference, any things that the Blerd community can do to help increase the representation and visibility of Black characters, and also in just seeing people that work in the industry that are animators, editors, modelers? Do you think the community can do more to help the visibility? I'm asking everyone.
No. But finish what you were saying. No, I was just saying, so first of all, I should hold the mic to my voice, to my mouth. First of all, one thing I always talk about is like how impactful just the visibility thing is. Like just seeing someone that looks like you doing something that you didn't even consider a possibility for yourself is humongous. And it's like, I know that big time as a Black man, like, you know, just coming up in school as a kid, I remember just like you're flipping through your science textbooks, your math textbooks, every other scientist, every mathematician, everybody is a white man, you know what I mean? And so as I'm like trying to aspire to be, you know, a scholar or whatever, in my head, even if it's like at the subconscious level, I feel like I'm doing something that's not really natural for my people, but like it's good to do. You know what I mean? It's almost like, if you do this, that's something special. And that's not something that's expected or normal. It's like, yo, I'm doing what those people do. Rather than, yeah, this is something that we do too. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I was blessed to have like, you know, the right kind of like upbringing and influences in my life. But like, you got kids that they don't even aspire to do those things because they're like, no, That's them. They do that. Yeah, and and I think I made the analogy talking to one of you guys recently about how, like, you know, we'll watch the, you know, MTV Cribs or something, and you just enjoy it, like, oh, that's entertaining. Look, they got a yacht. They're doing this, and you don't think like that's something you can have, because it's like, yo, these guys are billionaires, like Brad Pitts and those Will Smiths of the world. Like, that's not something that's them, their world. The same way we look at that as like a separate world that we don't take part in, there are like little black kids that look at like this as like, oh yeah, we don't do that. We rap, we play basketball, maybe, you know what I mean? And we sell drugs, you know what I'm saying? And so just having any kind of like something on YouTube where you're celebrating, like, here's your 4 African Americans that are like in film, you know what I mean? Animation, and they come from various backgrounds. And
we're storytellers, and the more specific the story, the more universal it is, right? And so like the more specific of a story you can tell just makes that much more compelling. And think about all the films that you really, really love, right? You water that down and you feel that too, right? And so and this is just from my experience, I haven't necessarily felt, and I feel like to Dre's point about people wanting our stories, the more you sort of lock into that truth, that of where you are, where you come from, that kind of thing, it is crazy, but people vibe with that way so hard. You know what I mean? Like Black Panther was a very black film, but the world loved it. Like, you know what I mean? And he didn't really pull out, it was not a lot of areas where you look at that film and you be like, he could have gone harder than that, you know what I mean? He watered that down, you know what I mean? I think the world is waking up, but I also think the world, to your point, Dre, inherently just loves our stories, you know?
I was like, I was in the back of the meeting, like, I wasn't even, like, I don't even know if I was supposed to be there. And I was like, we should make up a line dance. And everybody's like, what's that? Like, when someone's like, you know, like the Cupid Shuffle, or, you know, the electric slide, you're like, oh, well, why don't you? They were like, just whip up something and come back tomorrow.
They say, Peter, take notes. Take notes.
They were like, we kind of get you, like, just, let's revisit this tomorrow, Matt. You go put something together. So I literally went back to my desk and was like, grabbed the 2 guys that worked next to me. I was like, yo, let's just go in the back room. And I just literally was like, throwing a beat. We got a basic, like, and I just did, and I got up there and I was like, to the front, do this, take it back, and do this, step left. And I was just showing them, like, that's what a line dance is. And I was like, and the exact thing that I showed them, we took 30 hits.
Exploded.
They were like, we're doing that.
So unfortunately, we have run out of time. Yeah, I know. It was a good time though. And again, I am Monique Henry-Hudson. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at SimplyRobotix, SimplyRobotix, Robotix is ROBOTIX. My website is also SimplyRobotix.com. Also, through me, you can get in contact with them. I think everyone's going to be hanging around a little bit, so in passing, you can definitely approach everyone. And thank you again to Blerd City. Thank you again. I got this opportunity through Black Blood Fest. I'm a programming coordinator with them, so.
And she is like the superhero Blue Sky. She is like, we didn't get a chance to talk about her. She is amazing, and she held everybody down, and she will be one of the most powerful women in Hollywood. I can see that.
Thank you so much.